Hello, I'm Patti Teel, host of the Senior Helper Show. You are not going to want to miss today's guest. Frank Newton writes for the Santa Barbara News Press, an article that you're probably already aware of called Frank Talk for Seniors. But he's also Executive Director of RSVP, Retired Senior Volunteer Program. If you're a senior and looking for something beneficial to do with your life at this time to fill the hours, you're not going to want to miss what Frank has to tell you. Come on in. Hi, I'm Patti Teel. Welcome to the Senior Helper Show. We have a fabulous guest today. Some of you may know him from his article in Santa Barbara or his column that runs every other Tuesday, Frank Talk for Seniors. But today he's going to talk to us about a great program, the RSVP program of Santa Barbara, of which he's the executive director. Welcome, Frank.
Well, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for being here.
I'm very grateful. I'm glad you thought of me.
Well, this RSVP program, it just is so fabulous. I guess the acronym stands for Retired Senior Volunteer Program. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes.
And
Well, I have
a very old program.
A very old program from the 70s is when it started?
75 here in Santa Barbara. In the federal government, it started back in around 70 or 71.
Well, I have so many friends who really have time on their hands. And they have hobbies, but they really want to do something more meaningful with their lives. They're retired or their kids are raised, and they have so much talent and so many interests, but they don't quite know what they should do.
Well, that's a perfect introduction to what RSVP is all about. That's the essential idea. You have a population of older adults who have time and talent. And you have a lot of nonprofit organizations that need help, especially nowadays where so many people are getting budget cuts and having to lose staff and cut back on services. So you have these two groups, and often they don't know how to find each other. And someone, several decades ago, came up with this idea of RSVP. Said, what we will do is we'll create a matching service that finds out from the seniors what they want, find out from the organizations what they need, and we'll say, we'll bring them together. So if you were a volunteer, you're a prospective volunteer, and you called me, I would find out, what's your background, what kinds of programs do you like or not like, what kind of time do you have. Some people have, I've got an hour a week or an hour a month. Some people say, I've got a lot of time.
Right, and you'll accept them no matter how much time they have, if it's a lot or a little?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Because we partner with 80 different organizations throughout Santa Barbara. So once we find out what your interests are, I can look at my records and say, okay, here's 3 or 4 options for you, where they're looking for somebody who's interested in what you're doing and has the time frame that you're available.
Oh, that's so great.
So,
yeah.
I try and match them up, and it saves the organization a lot of time and trouble, and it really helps seniors figure out what do I really want to do, because I can give them a few options, and then they don't have to go wandering around saying, well, I don't know about that organization, or I never heard of that one.
Right, it really.
So I can recommend them and say, okay, this is what this organization does. Are you interested in this?
Yeah.
And then I hook you together, and hopefully it clicks.
That's great. So would it be done by a phone call, or would they come down to the office? Either way. Where's your office located?
Our office is on, you're familiar with Victoria Hall? It's on Yes. Yeah, it's a big old gray building.
Right.
35 West Victoria Street. And we've been there for a long time. And this organization it didn't start in that building, but it started way back in 1975 in Santa Barbara. We have served over 5,000 volunteers in that time. 5,000 people have signed up. We're working with about 80 to 85 nonprofit organizations all over Santa Barbara. Some are community centers, some provide food for the needy, some do knitting.
Really?
Yeah, some do animal rescue. Some... The list goes on and on about all the kinds of services and programs that are available. Some of the organizations we work with deal with art, like Art from Scrap is an organization. They're always looking for volunteers. They need help. And especially now, I think more than ever, because so many organizations that I hear about or deal with day after day are telling me, we just had our budget cut, 20%. We lost this, I had to let so many people go.
Mm-hmm.
And the more at the very same time,
Mm-hmm.
that more and more people are knocking on the door in need of services.
Mm-hmm.
Because the recession has hurt a lot of people, and they say, well, I could use some help.
Right. Yeah.
And the agencies that are out there that could help people
Mm-hmm.
are getting their budgets cut.
Well, what a win-win situation.
So, one solution is, if they had volunteers, they could get some of that work done and help people.
Mm-hmm. Now, do the volunteers need to be a certain age? Was it over 55 themselves to be a volunteer?
Yes, they have to be 55.
Oh.
And one of the big needs is teaching kids how to read.
Oh, right.
So we do have some seniors that like to go into the schools and deal with literacy.
Mm-hmm.
And they teach the kids. And other kinds of classes too, but literacy seems to have a lot of
How great.
relevance, and the schools are geared for that. That's an older person can come in and have an easy way of starting to teach kids how to read.
Well, I'm an ex-special education teacher, and so I totally understand the value of that. Sometimes just having that one-on-one help for the child who's struggling can be invaluable.
Yeah. So they can work with older adults, they can work with people middle-aged, they can work with children. There's a wide range of volunteer opportunities available to them.
Absolutely, yeah. Are there any organizations that are in particular need right now that are really searching for volunteers?
Some have contacted me recently, so they're fresh in my mind.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Jewish Family Service. Okay. They have their facility on Chapala Street.
Mm-hmm.
They have a nice luncheon for seniors called Schmooze Room.
I love the name.
Okay.
It's just fun to
And
say.
the Schmooze Room is just a fun lunch.
Mm-hmm.
It's very social. People have a lot of fun. But a number of older adults in our town have difficulty getting there.
Oh.
So Jewish Family Services needs drivers. They need volunteers to go to somebody's house, pick them up, bring them to the lunch, and take them home.
Oh, what a great service.
Well, there's no money to pay people to do that.
I understand,
So
yeah.
that's one example.
Mm-hmm.
Community Kitchen down on Milpas Street, right off Milpas. They feed the homeless.
Mm-hmm.
They feed 200 people every day.
Really?
Food is brought in, but somebody has to help the chef prepare the food and get it organized, help set up the cafeteria, clean up afterwards. They need volunteers for that. Food Bank of Santa Barbara, they have a variety of programs of feeding not only the seniors, but all kinds of families that are in need. And they told me when I met with them recently that the need for food in Santa Barbara is exploding, quote unquote.
Really?
We don't think about it.
No.
Because so many of the low-income people are hidden,
Yes.
and we think of Santa Barbara as just for very wealthy people.
Right.
But the need for just basic bags of groceries, the most essential foodstuffs you can think of, is growing tremendously. And so the food bank needs volunteers to get this food together.
Right.
You have to organize it, put it into brown grocery bags, or however they distribute it.
There's a lot to be done.
There's a lot to be done.
Yes.
Let me think of some others. Unity Shop. We hear about the Unity Shop every year on their telethon,
Yes.
their Christmas telethon. But they work
All
12 months out of the year. And they do a variety of things. For example, let's say there's some community program that knows a senior has a special need. It's their birthday's coming up. And nobody has money to give them something, just a little gift. Unity Shop will put together a birthday package for them. During the big fires that we have in Santa Barbara, there are families that rush out of their house and have nothing.
Absolutely.
And they don't have toothbrushes and toiletries and whatever. Unity Shop has their volunteers put together these, essentially their care packages for these families.
That's wonderful.
And
I actually lost my house in the tea fire, so I know how that feels. You just,
yeah,
everything
you
is,
have nothing.
you're lost. Yes.
Well, someone has to get that stuff together. Well, it's volunteers that do it.
Wow.
And Unity Shop is one of the major ones in that regard.
That's great.
They need volunteers all the time.
Yeah.
So the list goes on and on and on about
does.
organizations in this town.
I did want to just ask you, because you mentioned earlier in our conversation about animal lovers and some of the matching that you can do.
Yes, some of the organizations that we deal with rescue and help nurture injured animals. Well, someone's got to do it. They can find the animals, but somebody has to take them into their home and restore them to health. Well, that's a volunteer.
Right.
Nobody pays for this, unfortunately.
Oh my gosh.
There's not enough money to pay people to do these things. But these are vitally important services in our community.
Yes. Well, I'm going to beseech you out there, if you have time on your hands and a big heart, this sounds like the organization that can really take advantage of your loving nature, your heart, and your time and put it to great use. So hopefully you'll be in touch with the RSVP program. And can you give them your phone number and website?
Yes, it's 963-0474. 963-0474. And the website is rsvpsb.net.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being our senior helper today.
I'm very glad you invited me.
Okay.
This is wonderful.
Thank you. Thanks.
This show has been brought to you by Senior Helpers of Santa Barbara County, providing care and comfort at a moment's notice. If you'd like to contact Senior Helpers, you can go to their website, www.seniorhelpers.com, or phone them at 805-966-7100.